Good afternoon, everyone. This is Scott DeCamp with CatchMark SportsNet. We're here in the CatchMark SportsNet podcast room here for the Whitehall Boys Soccer 2023 Media Day. I thank everybody here for joining us. We've got a good group here. They're having a lot of fun. There's another group of people over in the studio now doing some fun videos and stuff for the Media Day hype videos. So just want to introduce our guest here. We have senior Mason Kelly and senior Kyler Freeze, and then coach, first-year boys coach at Whitehall, although a longtime coach in different capacities, Adam Prince. Thanks for joining me, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So what's been the best part of Media Day so far?
Just seeing people get excited.
Who's gotten the most excited?
Probably Keegan.
Definitely Keegan.
Keegan, as in someone you
Yeah.
know pretty well?
Yeah, my younger brother.
Right. Where's he get it from?
Probably my mom.
So this guy has a pretty good leg on him. I saw his handiwork on the football field the other day. But I was talking to Andy Roberts, and he said, yeah, you should have seen the goal he scored from like midfield the other day. So tell us a little bit about that, what you're doing there, what you're looking to do.
In all honesty, I was just looking to put it into play for one of our like forwards or mids up top to put it in. I was not really expecting it at all to go into the net. But since the keeper was just out a little too far, it just ended up going into the back of the net. So I wasn't really expecting it, to be completely honest with you.
Was that against Big Rapids then?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, so great. That's awesome. So Mason, sounds like Coach plays you in a few different positions. What can you say about that?
Obviously, I like some more than others, but if I got to play them, I just play them as best as I can.
What's your favorite position if you had to pick one?
Probably mid.
Yeah. How often does your coach play you at mid?
Not as much as I'd like.
Well, he puts you where the team needs you, right?
Yeah.
Good team player there, Coach, you think?
Very good team player. He's like the Swiss Army knife of everybody we have on the team.
Mm-hmm. So you've been coaching a long time, obviously, and you've been at Whitehall with the girls program, and then this year you're coaching the boys as well. What's that whole thing, the transition to Whitehall been like for you overall?
Wonderful. My wife teaches in the district. Brother-in-law and sister-in-law teach in the district, so I know a lot of people in there. Mahan made it very easy last year just to come on and help assist, and then the transition's been wonderful. These guys have done nothing but work hard for me. So,
you guys are off to a 1-2 start. You beat Big Rapids, and then you lost to Allendale and Fruitport. Good opponents there, and then you stay busy because you're at North Muskegon tomorrow, and I don't know if you're at or home against Shelby. You're at Shelby, so yeah, Road Warriors and getting some good teams. But I mean, how do you guys feel about the start you guys are off to, and maybe where things could go?
I'm pretty excited with how we started, especially since we have a little bit younger team. We end up having to use half our JV just to even play any of our varsity games. So I'm pretty excited with how the season has started already, and I'm looking forward to seeing the improvement in the boys as we go on through the season.
And Mason, how do you feel about your guys' chances in the conference this year?
I think they're pretty good. I mean, we played a good first game, and we learned a couple things from our last two games. But other than that, I think we got a pretty good chance.
And then if you guys could just explain or characterize Coach Prince for me. If you got an impression, let's see it. But he might make you run extra if you do it.
Yeah, I'd rather not.
How would you describe Coach Prince and the style that he brings?
He's very vocal, very hands-on. He doesn't want to just sit back. He wants to actually teach.
What do you think, Kyler?
Yeah, I say the same with Mason. He's pretty much teaching us everything that he knows as we can take it, I guess. We're like trying to learn from him like the best we can. So he's out there at practice all day or even at our games teaching us as we are either playing or during like a break or something.
You can hear some yelling going on behind us here in the studio. I hope everything's okay over there. It's getting a little unruly over there.
that's normal.
That's how these guys are.
I'm pretty sure it's Keegan and DJ making most of that noise.
Yeah, so that had to be a little bit of a plus. Has DJ played before?
He quit when he was 12 years old. Our basketball coach did a really good job of recruiting Christian Gomez and DJ, and also Finn Mueller, who didn't make it today because he was come back from a concert. But all three of them have done wonderful and exceeded expectations. So
No, DJ listed himself at 6'1", which, okay, 175, which I'm not buying. No way he's 170. If he's 175, I'm 180 then.
I'm trying to figure out where I would be then. 175 is maybe 185, but he's pretty close, right around there, something. But his nickname is Snacks, and it's a reason why. Because when he goes up, he eats a lot at the team dinners.
Oh, and I'm always finding food in my truck too after I take him home.
What kind of food are we talking about here? What's his favorite?
Probably hot Cheetos.
What's your guys'? Is on the approved diet plan, Coach?
No, actually, on the approved diet plan, we have
Oh, yep, you brought that with you. That's,
sweet tarts. Yeah,
that's been a tradition of yours, hasn't it?
between that and gummy bears, I always
Yeah.
try to keep something just so I don't say too much during the games for refs. I have found that this is a nice little tension reliever too now. So
Just the goatee. You guys gonna grow them too, or not? Looks like you're starting, Mason.
I'm too patchy.
I think the only one that we have that actually has a decent one is Royce, and he had to shave his a little bit today. So
Yeah. So, what's been the best part of the season? I know it's really early. You've only had 3 matches. You got a bunch of season ahead of you. But what's been the best part, or what's the chemistry of this team like? How would you describe how things are coming together?
It feels like a team. Like we just all bonded really well. The chemistry's there, and there's nobody that just brings anybody down. We kind of build each other up as we go.
What do you think, Kyler?
Yeah, the chemistry it's not bad, but it can also get better as time goes on. We just got to spend more time together. So like with our team dinners and all that stuff, we just get to know each other a lot more and just have fun.
So we mentioned at the start of the show talking about Kyler kicking for the football team and exhibited a pretty good boot on him. What's that atmosphere like compared to maybe the atmosphere with the soccer team?
It is a lot different. I just don't really know how to explain it, but it is a lot of fun being out there with all those guys, just out there doing my job that they want me to do and just trying to improve every single day, kicking for them. It's a little bit harder than what I thought at first, just like the different techniques that you have to do, but other than that, it's a lot more fun than what I thought it would be. So I'm pretty excited for the rest of the season for football also.
Obviously you were at Christian for quite a while, and they didn't have a football team. They had like a co-op with Catholic or whatever at different stretches. But what do you think about guys who maybe help out with both teams? I mean, especially Whitehall's not tiny, but they're not big either.
I love it. My oldest son Tyler kicked for Catholic and played goalie for Catholic, and then my stepson Dylan was a kicker and played for North Muskegon. So I've seen it firsthand, and I love it when they get to do both of them. Multi-sport kids seem to be more well-rounded than if you're just focusing on one. That was one of the reasons why we pushed Kyler up for that big kick against Big Rapids, because the whole team took a break while he was doing his practice for football, and he put one that was over top of the crossbar, and we said, oh, there's a play that we need to run, because if he can kick a football that far, he can kick a soccer ball even farther than that. So I would encourage more kids just to try to do double sports if they could, but it takes special kids that can understand that the workload is a lot harder.
Yeah, it does. Did that play into it all on that goal that you had? Just because you were starting to kick the football, and maybe just in terms of placement and stuff like that?
Yeah, just getting out there and just kicking both like the balls around, just getting used to how they feel it. Like as you start to play like the certain sport, like on your game day or whatever, you'd just be more used to the ball that you're going to be kicking around. So it definitely helped out a lot.
Well, we want to get Mason involved in this because we're keeping him pretty quiet over there. But what would you say about Kyler and just what he brings to the team?
He's a lot like me as far as how he plays, because he can pretty much go wherever we need him. So it's very useful in that, and he gets vocal when he needs to. So that brings a lot to the team.
Kyler, what would you say about Mason?
I would say that Mason's a very well-rounded player, and he helps bring the team up, especially when we get down into like a bad spot where we start getting scored on and then everybody starts putting their heads down. So he definitely helps out a lot, just bringing up the team spirit, and we can put him wherever we need him, which is also very helpful since we don't have a very big team.
So on the today at Media Day, we had to do some different things. Who did the coolest video, do you think? Who had the best like scene or whatever in the video that we're shooting?
I would say probably Andon with his backflip.
I think you were talking about doing one, Adam, weren't you?
I mentioned it, but a couple knee surgeries and 50 years ago was probably easier for me to do that than it is now. So
I also heard you talking that maybe you were 6'3" or so at one point. At least.
I might be 6'2". I don't know about 6'3". We're still trying to figure out like how much I grew with my knee surgeries. Once I had the knees corrected and now they're straighter, I actually did grow 2 inches. So it's nice to be taller.
So what's the worst part of his practices, would you guys say?
Whenever let's just say whenever the younger kids don't listen, we end up having to do some running because they like to keep on talking whenever coach is talking. So that's probably the worst, in all honesty.
How tough is that, Mason?
Well, you can only tell them to shut up so many times. Gets annoying.
You're talking about the little younger kids and not me, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Maybe Coach Wyatt, but
Wyatt needs it every once in a while.
Yeah.
So soccer players never stop running, though, right? I mean, that's a tough sport just because you are always moving. Always, at least in some other sports, you
Yeah.
get a little bit of a break, but you're always moving.
yeah, at least like a slight jog is probably like the slowest that you'll go. You never really stop to like to walk or anything.
So what are your big goals for the season then? Like just before we wrap up this podcast, and what are the things you guys really think you can achieve and want to achieve this year?
I'd like to come together better as a team, just to set up next year's team more, so that everybody's tighter, everybody knows how to play. Like if the chemistry's there, you can anticipate what the other players are going to do, and it just makes it so much more fluid.
Mm-hmm. What do you think?
For goals for this season, I definitely want to see the younger boys just improve a lot more so that they will be set up better for their next upcoming seasons and when they get to their senior year, just so they feel more just like so that they just want to play more, I guess, because some of the boys, they only go to practice and like that's the only time they're ever touching the ball, and I want to see some of those guys get out there and start touching the ball like outside of just soccer practice. So I just wanted to get them more involved and practice a lot more outside of just soccer practice.
So Kyler's a team captain. Both of these guys are four-year varsity guys. What can you say real quick about each of these guys, what they bring, but also maybe the chemistry of the team or the development of the program, because obviously this is your first year on the boys' side of it.
With these two guys, they're both Swiss Army knives. Basically, they've all played in, I think, 5 or 6 different positions already this season. That 4 years is going to help us a lot because of how young we are. We start 2 freshmen and 3 sophomores. Between the two of them, they have more knowledge. So as I switch to coaching younger kids, they sort of take some of the older kids and just like help refine what I'm trying to say so it's not bogged down all the time. As a team whole, this has got to be probably one of the closest teams I've ever coached. Like when they do stuff, it's usually as a full team and there's nobody just scheduled out. So I think that's one of the biggest things that we have going for us is how close we are as a team. Our lack of depth hurts us, especially with how hot it's been lately. But going forward, I think we have a pretty good chance of competing in most of the games going forward. So
I could notice that chemistry when you guys came in today. Just, sometimes there's a little, sometimes you have teams who are kind of maybe broken up into different groups and stuff, but you guys seem like everyone kind of pulls for each other in a bit. Yeah, there's going to be some picking at each other a little bit, but that kind of goes with the team thing.
Well, no, it's kind of like a brotherly pick-on thing, too. I mean, with Kyler and Keegan being pretty much the voice of the team and everybody else just waiting for him to say something is kind of helpful, but at the same time, it's kind of feels more like a family type orient than team orient.
All right, any closing thoughts from you guys before we sign off on this podcast?
No.
All right, any thoughts from you?
No, we're just hoping for a great season, and hopefully we can accomplish our goals.
All right, well, thanks a lot to Mason Kelly, to Kyler Freeze, and to Coach Adam Prince for joining us on this Whitehall Boys Soccer Media Day podcast. I'm Scott DeCamp with CatchMark SportsNet. Best of luck to the Whitehall soccer team. If I can get my voice back, I should take another drink of water. Let's try that again. Best of luck to the Whitehall boys soccer team throughout the season as you go on and pursue your goals. And thanks again for being on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.